So let's go with the artists. That guy studied with Mitch Dorch, Don Famularo, Jim Chapin, Chuck Silverman, John Fisher, Peter Maginini, and Virgil Donati. He studied in Edmonton at McEwan College. He also studied at Drum Collective in New York. He has a lot of instructional DVDs, the Moeller Method Secret, the Jazz Drumming System, the Latin Drumming System, the drumming system itself. Is part of the Drumeo teacher community. He make a lot of collaboration with different musicians. He's a Yamaha, Evans, ProMark, Paiste, Simpad, and Simbag endorsee. Let's go see my friend, Mike Michalkow. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being part of Drumfield Cafe because I thought about you because you are a great teacher and you are teaching for so many years. How many years are you teaching?
I think about 25, but about 20 full time.
Wow, it's a lot.
4 days a week is full time.
Wow.
4 days a week is full time.
It's full time. I think it's full time. How many students do you have for fun right now?
Currently about 50, and I try to keep it around 50. You know,
it's a lot.
But I'll take more. It's a lot. There was a time where I had 70, but I didn't have more free time. I want more free time with my kids, and obviously doing some other things, and being able to still gig and do recordings and stuff. So teaching is a big part.
But for 50 per like hours or 45 minutes or different times?
At 145, I'd say half would be 1 hour, and the other half would be half hours.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a heavy charge, but you teach online and person to person too, right?
Yeah. Well, it was before COVID. It was 70% in person and 30% online, and now it's 90% online and 10% in person. Times change, and you have to adapt, right? So.
Yeah. But the thing it's cool too. You have a lot of videos for at Drumeo. You told me, I don't remember how many hours, but you told me one day you have so many hours or lessons you did.
Yeah, I believe on Drumeo, I'm guessing it's in the high 300s of lessons. And I think so we're looking at 10% out of the 3,000 that they have.
Wow.
Yeah, last year on the, I guess it was this year actually, on the Drumeo method stuff. So there's some stuff there too that we've done. So it's great. Yeah, but I'm mainly just teaching on my own. Yeah.
Wow, cool. So let's start that. Where you're originally from? Like you're born?
I was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Okay.
It's a wonderful place to live, great music community.
Yep.
And then I went to Edmonton for a while. We had some family out there. We moved out there, and I stayed in Edmonton until 1994, and I've been now in Vancouver area since 1994. So I've been out here on the west coast of BC since that time.
It's been a while. Yeah, you mentioned Winnipeg is true. There's a great community. I was working there like 3-4 times in my life, long stretch, not just like a one day, like 3 times 3 months. So I've been able to learn, go around, and the downtown is so cool now compared to before. They're renovating all, but they kept that kind of bricks, look like Chicago, Boston-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was there 2 summers ago, and I miss it. I miss the summers. I'm not really a winter guy. I'm sorry for anybody who's.
It's cold there.
I can live. I spend a week in Edmonton every winter, but I'm great musicians, great music stores, knowledgeable people. Mitch Dorch still lives there. Mitch is one of my old teachers and a good friend now, and he still lives out in Winnipeg. He says he's the only dummy who lives in Winnipeg. He said he's the only dummy who stayed in Winnipeg.
Well, it depends. I think if you like mountains, you're not at the right place. There's super flat, but the people are cool and there's so many stuff to do. People think there's not much stuff, but yes, there's a lot of things to do.
Well, that's why the license plate says Friendly Manitoba, right? So.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I travel around. I know a lot of restaurants and it's nice. But well, now you're in BC, teaching, playing. How many bands do you play? Are you playing in right now, like permanent? Let's say.
Well, I mean, as we know, the bands aren't doing as much as they used to. There's a lot of postponement. But I would say there's quite a few tribute bands that I play in. There's a Rush tribute, Sade, Santana. I sub for quite a few people too, but there's been a couple of collaboration bands. And this afternoon I have a gig with an Irish band.
Okay.
So there's everything. There's jazz and there's funk, and I've been a kind of a hired gun most of my career.
That's pretty cool. Like a session guy.
Yeah, and there's an orchestra that I play with in Edmonton. It's a rock orchestra, 75-piece rock orchestra.
Whoa.
And we were supposed to do some shows, one in Edmonton, one in Calgary, and COVID postponed that to 2021. So we were a little bit sad and disappointed about that, but that's a big part of what I do in the spring and also in the winter. We do these big Christmas shows out in Edmonton area too. So I travel a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we can still travel in Canada, so at least you can do that. And because I know I saw you, I was reading your biography, and you did a lot of stuff. I don't know where to start because there's so many things, but let's start with the DVD, okay? Because you did a lot of those. How? Because it's not easy. I want to mention to the people that are watching that show, when you start to do a DVD, it's not easy. You need to plan all the cameras, all the content, where you will start, how many. It's a very long process, and you did a lot. So how you started to do that? Why you wanted to do that first?
I got a phone call. Believe it or not, I got a phone call from an ex-student of mine, and his name is Jared Falk.
Okay.
People don't know that Jared was one of my students. Jared had several teachers at the time, but we had a good connection. He was one of my best students. He remembers more about the lessons than I do, because I think at that time I was teaching 70 people a week. So not to say that he was just one of the 70, but I can't remember the focus of everybody back in the early 2000s. But I remember there was some Latin and some jazz that we were doing. And at that time I was studying with Dom and with Jim Chapin, and we were talking technique. And then he called me up out of the blue and said, "Hey, we're going to do a DVD on technique." And I said, "Well, why are you phoning me? You should be phoning Jim Chapin." And literally, I said to Dom and to Jim, like, "You guys should do this. It's something new and fresh, right?" And they both, Jim was ill at the time, and Dom was too busy. So they both gave me their blessing, and away we went. So we're in this little studio. It's hot. You can't have fans going. You can't have air conditioning going. You know what it's like, right?
Yeah.
And I was nervous. I was so nervous. I don't get as nervous now. I'm a little more comfortable in front of the camera from all that time. But it evolved from that. You know, we did the Moeller Method Secrets, I think 2006. And then it went so well that they asked me to do the drumming, or the Latin drumming system and the jazz drumming system. A really good kind of a starting point for anybody who wants to get into those styles. And that was a really fun shoot. And then we did a tuning video. It was like maintenance of drums and tuning. And then the big one was the drumming system, which was massive, because they were talking about doing 20 DVDs and 15 CDs and play-alongs. Yeah, I think we were in, don't quote me on this, but I think we were in the studio for 14 days. It felt like 14 days. Maybe it was 4 days. I don't know. But it was a long time. It was more than 1 or 2 days. We were there for days on end, right?
Wow. Yeah. And how many people involved from the, like, in the production?
Honestly, from the first production, I'm going to say 4 or 5. To the last production, 20. You know, it kept growing. Well, they needed to, the growth, and of course the people. And we went from this little tiny studio, which is now like a carpet shop, to this amazing studio, actually about 5 minutes from my house here. That's actually now a live music venue, and it's still, and you can actually still record there. But when people go to see, and I've actually played with the Santana band and with the Rush band there, and it's so funny because I'm playing where we did all these DVDs. It's kind of neat. It's a pretty big thing, but those Jared and his team they're spectacular. Like what they did with that stuff, the cameras, everything. You know, even to the last point where we just did something with Drumeo for the last method. I did a blues course, and it was just so top notch. Everything was just so top notch. So it's a really fun thing to be a part of that, of course, right? So obviously. Wonderful. Very, very
wonderful. Did you involve the sponsor in those videos too?
Because well, in the early ones, I was still sponsored by Sabian, and Sabian was helping out wonderfully. I think all the DVDs I've done, I was still with Sabian at the time. I'm with Peisty now. I believe you're with Peisty as well?
I'm Peisty. Yeah.
But so you would see people go, "How come you're playing Sabian cymbals on those DVDs?" I said, "Hey, how come Neil played Zildjian on the early recordings?" You know,
it's like
things change, right? Things change. Still have a wonderful relationship with Sabian. It was just a business decision. But yeah, everybody was involved. Yamaha was great. Everybody was wonderful. Everybody helped out. You know, Evan's drumheads, and they were just, when that kind of stuff is happening, the family, the musical family that we all develop and have, there's an appreciation. You know, and sometimes, as you know, when you work with the productions that you work with, there's sometimes no questions asked. It's just like, oh yeah, Eric's doing something, no problem.
That's all. Eric. Yeah, so like it's a good I can say it's never think about a one-way deal. It's always going both we helping each other. You know what I mean?
Relationship. There's got to be a relationship. You know,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure. When I call sponsor, I'm in overseas or whatever. I can always ask them, "Can you help me out with like a backline kit or symbols or whatever?" And I would say 95% it will work out. If and I not like a princess, I will call them in advance the most as I can. Like I'm not like tomorrow. Can I get a set of master series with my sizes? Like I don't think they will like it. You know what I mean? But but I'm trying to give them a through like a month. If I can give a month, usually they like it, like a month in advance.
Yeah, that helps. That
Yeah,
helps everyone.
Yeah. Yamaha is everywhere. Like you just mentioned Yamaha. I mean, it's a good backline company. I think it's the one is Yamaha Pearl DW is everywhere in the world in the backlines. So it's very easy for getting a kit. Maybe not the sizes as you want, but you will get a kit, and that's the main point.
Something. I'm not very picky. It's pretty simple. 22-inch bass drum, whatever size toms you have. And I like a deeper snare, but that's not hard. It's not like you're asking for a 22x17 Phoenix bass drum.
No. But it's very rare the backline will have a piccolo or like they will give mostly like 6.5, maybe 5.5. But like very very small. It's not something common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good. But talking about that, you have your own studio and you're practicing there. Can you record album from your studio, or is more like only for teaching?
This is for teaching because you can't record. I'm using these. What do they call?
Oh, okay. I cannot see. Okay, yeah.
I'm not a fan. Sorry, Yamaha. Sorry, Roland. I'm not a fan of the rubber cymbals. For a couple of, they don't always react the way I want them to, and we know there's a finesse on a cymbal that you try to create. So for recording, I've been asked if I've got rubber cymbals here and I can use them, but I teach at the Langley Community Music School a couple days a week when COVID's not rampant, and I have a fully mic'd kit there. So if I do anything, I just did a Rush collaboration with some old friends. We recorded the trees and it ended up on YouTube, and it's amazing. And I just go there. But actually, you're mentioning recording. No, I prefer not to record on electronic drums just for my own sake when I can do acoustic, unless I need those sounds, But now that I have the DFK Multi-12, I can take this thing anywhere and I can get glockenspiel and dogs barking and bells and whistles and stuff.
Stuff you will use all the time.
Yeah, but this is practice. But all my lessons are done here right now because I love my neighbors. I literally can throw a dart and hit my neighbor's house. So I don't want to have acoustic drums here right now. Everybody's really friendly in my neighborhood, and we all love each other. So I want to keep them happy. But nobody hears this. But the nice thing is, you hear the sound, right? So it
sounds good actually.
Drums, right? So, but it feels like a cool vibe. I got a really good vibe here. I can see outside. My first studio I've had ever where I have a window, right? So here's the drums. You love your neighbor. So I can I have a bird feeder right out there, and it's like I'm practicing a song and I'm watching the birds eat the food.
This is
therapeutic.
sounds weird, but no, you're right. Having a window, watching something, it entertain you or make you happy. It changed all. I had a studio in my house for 10 years in the basement, and I removed the window for no sound, for like a soundproofing environment, and I was not motivated, no 1 second to practice there. So I was always outside in friend's studio. I have a friend's studio outside, but I understand 100% what you mentioned. It's important.
Yeah, it's different. I haven't had that ever. Like we practice in dungeons. We're always in these rooms, away from everybody and not trying to bother everyone. And I've had the worst dungeons in the world, and I've had the best dungeons in the world. But this is not a dungeon. This is wonderful.
Well, I say it's great. Let's back to your when you were studying. I've seen you have a lot of great teachers like Jim Chapin, like Don and Mitch Dorch. All how, as a student, how you think you were? Like, are you the kind of guy you build a relation with them? You were very accurate, practicing all the hours. How kind of guy you are? Because there's always different students. You know what I mean? And different teachers.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I went, especially after my first teacher in Winnipeg. His name was Norm St. Hilaire, who we're still friends with. Okay. I mean, I haven't studied with the guy since I was 19. It's a long time ago. It's 30 years ago. But we're still friends. He still plays drums in Winnipeg. And of course, Mitch was a teacher that I taught. Or after Norm went on the road with his band, Mitch used to be Norm's teacher. So it was wonderful how the torch kept getting passed. When I met Dom in 1995, this is really dating myself. It was really for technique and learning how to get my hands in better shape. he introduced me to Jim Chapin. So there was this really neat circle, and then Mitch knew Dom, and Dom. It was just incredible. And sometimes when I would go to the specialist like Pete Nagadini, it was for a reason. Like I need to get polyrhythm because he was the polyrhythm, had the polyrhythm books out. So I sought him out when I was in the San Francisco area. Chuck Silverman was like the white Latin guy, and I wanted to be the next white Latin guy, right? So I would seek out, and I would seek out those guys. But yeah, I was diligent in the practice. Like I'm not going to waste anybody's time nor my money, right? With Donati, we had one lesson with Donati, and it was about bass drum technique. Like, how are you getting those techniques? What are you doing? And, talked about some crazy rhythms and stuff. But no, I love it. So anybody who I study with, I made sure that they were like, wow, what a great student Mike was. So I'm always a student, right? And there's still many, many more drummers I want to take lessons with. I had a master class with Dave Weckl. It was unbelievable, man. I was so intimidated, but it was great. It was just wonderful.
Because it's to learn with different teacher make you growing as a person too, because you can see different perspectives, and you will know there's stuff you won't maybe not like, I would say, but maybe that those a few things won't catch you, like, because it's not related to you. But whatever teacher you will have, you will learn something, whatever. And and as a teacher, how you work with your student, are you going with the flow, or you always have like, okay, this is my kind of patterns, they will have to learn that pattern, not patterns, but I mean like a schedule or like a way to learn, like rhythm, like do your that solo, that play along, how you manage your student in general?
Not that regimented. I tried that, and I think it scares some students away. Is I always want to find out what students want to learn, right?
Okay.
For example, just before we logged on, I have a student, a Skype student from the Seattle area, who just wants to play double bass. So we played jazz today. No, we didn't. We played double bass. I'm like sweating, and so we worked on, And he doesn't read yet, and he doesn't quite understand rhythm yet, but he's loving trying to play along to Fear Factory songs, right? I have another student who's been playing drums 4 months who wants to learn Tom Sawyer, but I have to give him the tool. It's not like, hey, we're just going to play Tom Sawyer. It's like, okay, well, we need to learn how to play 16th notes. We need to learn how to play in 7. We need to learn what this fill is. We need to, So the book, and we talked about the main book that I teach out of, if I can promote it. This is the book that I've been teaching out of forever. And my goal with this book was to have something that I could teach out of, and other drum teachers could teach out of, and also my students could. So this is a full adaptation of everything you need to learn those kind of things, right? So this won an award in 2009 for Modern Drummer, and
that's good.
This book I teach, it's simple. It's like $21, whatever it is, when you buy it on Amazon or something like that.
Congratulations, that's perfect. I'm happy for you to hear that, because the people I always encourage my student to buy books, because you have it with you, and if you cannot, you go with Kinder, or like you go with a data version, and syncopation, stick control, new breed are classics.
I mean, this is all books, just so you know. But behind this thing here, there's probably 30 more or 40 more books, and then half my other books are at my teaching studio in Langley. And so what happens if I go I have a girl that wants to learn all the snare drum technique, and I'm like, oh, my Alfred book 2 is it? So I drive 20 minutes, I get into the school, I grab a bunch of more books, Student wanted to learn a King Crimson song, so of course I'm like, hey, there's a couple King Crimson songs in here. Remember that book, right? And, Led Zeppelin. I got an 11-year-old kid learning Led Zeppelin right now. He can play The Ocean, and he can play Black Dog, and he's learning it a lot by ear, a little bit of reading. But man, this young man is spectacular. So it's a little bit of everything. If someone comes in saying, I don't know what to learn, I don't know, then we obviously go through the book. But then, because some people don't really have a plan, some do.
No.
But some people don't. They're like, well, I'm just here to learn drums. So at that point, I say, okay, well, get the book, and we're just going to start going through 8th-note beats and fills, and then get into 16th notes, and then at one point triplets, and kind of build their vocabulary. So as they're listening to music, starting to realize what they want to play. If a kid comes to me and says, hey, I want to learn We Are the Champions by Queen, okay, well, let's go to the triplet section. We got to learn how to play triplet beats, right?
Yep.
And triplet fills and things like that. So that's how I adapt. I adapt my teaching to the needs of the student, always.
That's a good point. I'm my thinking is kind of like your thinking too, but the only thing I realized, when one kid come to me, or one adult, whatever, and ask me, okay, I want to go to college or university. Now I'm now I'm tightening the things, and I will really ask them to do the proper thing to get the audition, to get in the school and all that stuff. But if not, I will adapt too. Yeah, it's the
Right.
same way.
Yeah, it's the same as me. If someone wants
Okay,
to go to Berkeley, okay, we
let's
got to
do
put
that.
the rock tunes away. We got to put the police songs away, and that we got to stop playing Metallica. Here's what we got to work on, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's when I'll change the game a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it's important, and it's good to have like teacher like you organize, because now people can go online, they can go on YouTube and get like a lot of free lessons or not organized or stuff. But when you have a teacher, some are good. I'm not bashing it. Some are very good. I'm just saying, like, when you have a teacher devoted to you every year, every week, you will see, even if it's online or in person, it's not just a teacher. That person is like a mentor. It's a guideline for help you, whatever at which level you are, to help you. And it's what you do right now
Yep.
with
And
your
that's what
student.
it's wonderful. It's motivation for people. Like, really quickly, I'll tell the story. There's a student of mine who he's a pilot. He's not going back to work until December. So he gets into
Oh,
his giant coach motorhome. He buys
okay.
this rolling electronic kit. He welds a drum seat into his couch. And now we did a lesson
Okay.
from the middle of Colorado yesterday, and he's in his motorhome. I'm like, now that's dedication. Like, there's no excuses for this guy. He could be like, well,
This.
I'll go for 3 months. I'll see you. He's like, nope, I gotta take my weekly lesson. Let's hope the internet connection's good. I'm like, and it was fine.
Well,
Awesome.
it's impressive, but I didn't expect it will put a seat at that place. Like a modification of the RV, whatever it is.
He does some welding, and he's sending me these pictures. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it looks like a big mess. And next thing you know, there's a big giant drum seat where the couch would be. And I'm going, what are you
Okay.
doing? You'll see. I'll text you a picture. You're gonna laugh. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
but the guy he made it happen. So it's pretty cool.
It's so good. It's so good.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't have much time. Before we go, we have like around 3 minutes.
Okay.
Is there any where the people can reach you and where they can call you if they want lessons, they want to see your videos, your books? You mentioned Amazon, but where are the platform they can reach you?
Okay, so I am on Instagram. I don't follow it as much. I am on it's just Mike Michalkow. On Facebook, but Facebook is getting full, and it's Drum Michalkow, I believe, is my name there. I should know that. But if anybody
Okay.
wants to email me at Mike's Drum Lab, all one word, Mike's Drum Lab at gmail.com. Okay. Because there's lots of things happening, and even for people who don't want to or can't do regular lessons, I just started something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I'm actually doing Zoom master classes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Already done 2, and it's been spectacular because various topics, all walks of life of people, and that's so if they find me on Facebook or even through email, I can add you to the masterclass page. It's a private group. We've got 45 people there right now, which is great. I'm trying to keep it small, and it's for people who want to do those when they can. So for people who can't make a regular lesson or want more of the classroom setting, I just started doing that 2 weeks ago, and it's great. I'm having a
It's great.
blast.
Wow.
And it's building a
Yeah.
community. Like in my little group, everybody's becoming friends. It's amazing. And then people from all over the world, like from Europe and Eastern Canada and Southern US and Mexico. And I'm like, this is awesome. So
Yeah.
that's Mike Michalkow Masterclass page, which I have to invite people into. But if they want to be part of that, they can email me and say, hey, I want to be part of the Masterclass page, mikesdrumlab at gmail.com. Instagram, I do check. I do have a YouTube channel. Go watch my YouTube channel. If people just want to watch the free stuff, I'm always adding new things there once in a while. But we put our stuff
No.
on there.
But it's cool you mentioned the Zoom and you said a small group. 45, it's still a big group.
Well, you know
If you
what?
think it's a big class.
I was planning on 20, right? And
Okay.
haven't had 45 yet. The first one I had 15, and the second one we had 10. It depends on people's schedules. But I just found out really quickly that the European people are all kind of getting together saying, Mike, can you do them in the morning so it's evening for us?
Yeah.
Yes, of course I can, because I've been doing them evening my time, which is 3 in the morning in the UK or in Europe.
Yeah. Have
I
you seen
love
the people they make snare warm up at morning group? They're like 3, 4, 500 people. Like I saw that online. Yeah, Maxime Deomin, he was doing that. Like a lot of people, just rudiment for 2 to 3 hours. I told him, like, whoa, 2 to 3 hours, it's a lot. But the people are focused during the COVID, like the hard time, March, April, every morning snare drum rudiment.
That's fabulous. That is so
It's
fabulous.
so many people. I'm like, they're more motivated than me. I'm not motivated like that. You know what I mean? Hey, thanks for being on the show. 25 minutes go so fast. I could talk with you 1 hour, but I have to respect the time. So thanks for everything. I'm always say, if I'm back to Vancouver, I will stop to say hi, and we'll have a coffee or something.
And let's do part 2 sometime. There we go.
Yeah, actually, we could have a part 2 in 2021. 2020 is already booked, but 2021, excellent. Yes, we'll do.
Good for you, man. Congratulations. How do I get one of those mugs? I need to get one of those mugs.
Those mugs, I can make you one for you and send it out by yeah. Actually, I have a lot of requests for those. Not just you. Maybe like I think I'm around 25 person now ask for the mug. I think I will make. I want to make the espresso version because I'm not I like coffee crazy, but I don't like the big like Americano full fill. I like more like Americano small or espresso. I think I will make a smaller one, and I can yeah. Let's talk about that later. I will send you one. No problem.
Fantastic. Thank you, my friend.
I take care. Have a good gig tonight.
Thank you. Take care,
See you
everybody.
Later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks to Michalkow for being on the show. Don't forget to subscribe to his page. In all the platform, you can find his books. Like he was mentioning, you can buy the books on Amazon and different platform. Please subscribe for Drumfield Cafe, Facebook and Instagram are the 3 pages. You can have all the information about Drumfield Cafe. If you we have some contests too, so you will be aware of those on the Facebook page of Drumfield Cafe. So thank you very much. Hi guys, so now we're at you're with Drumfield Cafe, so don't forget to subscribe Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. It's very important. Most of the information right now going through Facebook, but if you want to see all the past shows, actually Facebook is way more popular than our YouTube. We have like thousands of you on Facebook and a few hundred on YouTube, but if you want to have the full library of the 71 previous interview of season 1, I really suggest you to go on the YouTube, and also you can look at all the capsules we did all during the summer. Our pre-recorded capsule, but they're from 15 minutes to 45 minutes with artists from Montreal, from province of Quebec, mostly in French. But the English part, well, you will have capsules, but they're coming more in 2021. We have to go step by step. So the next artist I will try to present as a resume like for 5 days to talk about, but I will try to do it short. It's a drummer, clinician, author, motivator. He's a renowned masterclass host. He performed in many drum fests all around the world. He's a consultant for Sabian Education Program. He studied with Jim Chapin, Joe Morello, and many more. He's playing with Mapex, Sabian, LP, and other very famous brand. He wrote books. You have to check out those books. 8-Note Rocks and Beyond, It's Your Move, The Weaker Side, Open-Ended Playing, Pedal Control. So let's go see him. Hey, hello, my friend Dom Famularo. How are you doing?
Very good, Eric. Thank you so much. But it's a lot of stuff to announce, and you did a great job with it.
I checked out your website, and I look at the bio. I knew you a lot, but you did so many stuff. I swear I could pass like an hour to just make a big resumes of your your entire life.
It has been a very full life, and it has been absolute fun. And this next week is my birthday. I turned 67.
Oh. Wow, congrats.
And thank you so much. And interesting enough, I started teaching at the age of 17 around my birthday. So I celebrate 50 years of teaching.
Wow.
And I started becoming a professional performer at the age of 12, also around my birthday. So I celebrate 55 years of being a professional and 50 years, a half a year of teaching. So it's been great, great fun, a wonderful journey.
That's a pretty long, yeah, it's a long way to temporary.
But, you know, I'm still excited about it. I'm still enthusiastic about it. I was teaching all day today. I'm in my studio, and I've got thousands of students from around the world. Today, I taught in 4 or 5 different countries already, just today from students and camps and master classes. So today was another full day of excitement. And at the end of the day, I'm still excited to do more. So this is when living your passion is the answer.
You just said something true, because if you're passionate about something, that will influence the rest, because you will crave for it. You will eat that material, and you just want more. That's it.
It really is, Eric. And with that, when you're living your passion, you're excited to get up in the morning. You're excited to create new ideas. You're excited to challenge yourself. And that to me has always been the journey. If I can challenge myself, then I continue to grow. And even though as I get now, as I call in the winter of my life, I'm still excited to grow some more and learn some more. Absolutely.
Actually, you mentioned something, the challenge, because you did so many stuff. But let's start one point to the other. The first one, you had a lot of students. Okay, where you find all those challenges? What is their biggest challenges for you? For example, if when you wake up the morning, what will drive you from the point A to point B? Because it's a lot of things. If you just mentioned you're teaching for a lot of students, is it the fact you will teach someone, you will influence somebody, or it's your knowledge? What drive you that much?
An individual might not be able to change the world.
No.
But individually, we can bend it.
For sure.
So I'm trying to bend each lesson I give, each masterclass I give, each interview I give. I want to try and bend it a little bit more into a positive way, Eric, because I believe this is what our purpose is. To me, the essence of life is to matter. I don't know how much more time I have on this earth, but I want to try and push it as far as I can and try and matter and influence people. And there is so much information that is available to people on the internet and in social media that much time that information can get overwhelming.
Oh, yeah,
so with each person, I want to give each person a path to find out how they can achieve their passion and find success in what they love doing.
It's so true, so true. And it's where you realize, when you're dedicated to something and you do it well and you take the proper way, you should reach. You will grow up as a person and as a human being, not just in your instrument.
Absolutely, and I want to continue growing, not only as an artist and as a drummer, as a musician. I really want to grow as a person. I want to evolve to a person that has high level maturity and high level wisdom. And I'm still striving for that. I'm still hungry for change.
Yeah, that's we call that soul. If that will influence your playing, you will have a spirit. So when you play on your drums, your human being will reflect that on your playing. And this is a super important point. Some people doesn't, and you said something good. I just want to mention something you said about there's so much information. For example, on internet right now, you can be lost in translation with that. And but if you are really well guided by like a teacher like you or whatever other teacher, there's so many good teacher. A good student will find his way, because if you start to compare yourself to the 1,000,002 drummer I've posted a video on Instagram today, you will be like rethinking about your who you are, if you're enough good or stuff like that. But you have to understand you are a person, right? So you're
and when the student is ready to learn, the teacher appears.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah, actually, there's a few students, and it's good because I'm sure you can, for sure, you can judge in the good way. You can say, this one is more like a student for be like for fun, pleasure, but some wants to be more academic. They want to go college or university. So you will adjust your teaching for bring them to that point to the other point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Every student is different in what they want to achieve. And my responsibility as an educator, it's not about me, it's about the student. How can I lift that student for them to achieve what they want to achieve? I want to be a part of their success, and I want to be a part of guiding them to happiness. If I can guide them to happiness, then I will be with that person for the rest of their life.
Oh, that's and actually you wrote a lot of books, and without those books will be with them for the rest of their life in some ways.
Absolutely. Many drum books that I've written, I've got a publishing company called Wisdom Media with a great partner of mine, Joe Bergamini, who's a phenomenal top player and a top editor, and what he does with books, a brilliant, brilliant person. And by being involved with him, we put these different drum books out, and I'm also working on different motivational books. I've got a motivational book out called The Cycle of Self-Empowerment. That's available on on Kindle and everywhere around the world, and on my website.
Yep.
But also I'm working on my next motivational book. So I'm working on not only more drumming books, but more motivational books. It's really kind of fun.
But that's perfect, because if you only stick with one aspect of your person, it's something. But like you said, you can do different aspect, and motivation will be related to your musicianship, but also in your personal life. And I'm actually, because I was mentioning something before we broadcast about motivation, and I want you to talk a bit about that, because I always like the way you are when you go on stage. We know you are on stage. You know what I mean? Before you play the drums, I mean, just your energy. We know Dom is on stage. And it's good because you have a good energy. And when you talk to the people, you really sounds like it's not your belief in what you're saying is great. I like it because the people will believe in it in the good way, and you always try to guide. But where you find that motivation every day, you know what I mean? It's
I know what you mean. And Eric, it's kind of interesting. It's really a great question. I am really inspired by people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I step on stage, I know that people are out there. People are very smart. They are intelligent. They know a good entertainment, and they know when someone's honest and when someone is not honest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
I want to be honest, and I want to be true to them. And I'm always positive because I make a choice to be positive. This is a choice I make.
Yep.
I have many challenges in my life. There was an article I just did for an interviewer, and the journalist asked me, he said, Dom, every time I see you, you're always happy. You're always happy. I've seen you 50 times, and you're always happy. It's impossible to be happy all the time.
No.
Do you have moments of real negative personality?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, boy, that's an interesting question, because my answer is no. I'm always positive because I choose to be positive. But when someone says being positive all the time is not possible, I asked the question, I said to the journalist, do you know anyone that's negative all the time? He said, yes, I know many people that are always negative. I said, well, why is it all right to be negative all the time, but you can't be positive all the time? It's just a choice you make. And I believe the person that is choosing to be negative all the time is making a very poor choice.
Yeah.
Life is very short. I do not own tomorrow.
Oh, no.
I don't even own later. So I don't know when I walk out of my studio if I'll even be around for tomorrow. So I believe in the now. And that's the name of my next book, Owning Now. This moment of time, how do you own it and stay in it? This interview with you now at the Drum Fills Cafe, here I am with Eric. I'm with you 100%. I'm not worrying about all the different classes that I gave today. I was in Poland, Germany, Oslo, Norway, Canada. Now here I am back with you again in Canada. I've had students all around the world, starting from 8 o'clock this morning until this evening. I am as energized now because I am making the choice
to
be positive about the great gifts that we have in life.
It's so
that
true.
Is the journey.
It reminded me when I saw I was in a clinic for Greg Bissonette long time ago, Greg's great guy and great player too. And he says like one guy asked a question like that, and he replied, every morning when I wake up, I'm trying to find only one thing I like that day for starting my day. He's like, it can be only, I will be super happy with my coffee cup. I will be very happy with the sunshine, like the sun outside. I will be very happy to see like, I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to find one positive thing when I wake up at first. And after that, that will help my day. And it's like, with that, I cannot say I'm happy all the time, but that really drive my day in a positive meaning at first. And I think that was a good answer too.
I've known Greg for many, many years, and I knew Greg's father and mother, and of course, his brother Matt, who's a great bass player. Yeah. It's a wonderfully musical family. They are beautiful people. They are very positive people, and Greg has that kind of personality. I always say, the kind of person you are is the kind of artist you're going to become. The kind of person you are is the kind of artist. And why is Greg a great player? He's a positive player. He's a happy player. He always delivers at a high professional rate because that's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, and I can see that from far. Yeah, it's a good answer too. Talking about that, you said you were teaching with people all around the world. Okay, you started something like the your wisdom school. Okay, and I want we talk about that because it's very cool, it's very interesting, and it's something it was not done at all. I mean, you did something to make a kind of standard of a school, and you are in different countries with different people teaching. Where and why and how you became with ideas like that, like back in like what 15 years ago, something like that, maybe more. I don't know. I remember.
Yeah, more than that. I started teaching using the internet when it first came out. When the World Wide Web first came out, I had the idea of doing some short drum lessons. And at that time, when the World Wide Web first came out, this is almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started teaching on the internet and doing these, we used to call cyber lessons. There's a great article in the latest issue of Modern Drummer magazine.
Okay.
They speak about online education, and I'm on the cover here with Dave Weckl, Russ Miller, and Don Lombardi.
Yep.
And we talk about online education. And what happened was years ago, when I started doing it, I did a short video. Well, the video had to be 90 seconds, Eric, because at the time it was dial-up. Dial-up. And 90 seconds, it had to be short so it could be uploaded onto the web. Well, I did a 90-second lesson. I did several of them. And the first lesson that we put out, when it went out on the internet, within 24 hours, it had over 50,000 views. We realized, whoa, something is here. So with that, I kept on doing them. So I was the first one to do that. And then I realized that by teaching online, many students saw that and started coming to me. And that's where players like Stefan Chamberlain came to me, and Klaus Hessler, and Chris Lesso, and Joe Bergamini, and all these fantastic players. Frank Perry, another wonderful player here on Long Island. They all came to me for lessons, and I started teaching them and realized as I teach them, I'm giving them my curriculum of teaching. Remember, in next week, it's 50 years of teaching. In 50 years of teaching, you find ways in how to teach and get results quickly. I want the students to learn fast, but I want them to learn correctly. And the challenge with the internet is there is so much misinformation, and even with so much information, it can become overwhelming and get people very confused.
Yeah, and it's a great idea and because it's also in different countries, and not just there's in the state too, but I mean you are in all around, so you can reach other people from whatever.
Massimo Russo, who's a top drummer in Italy, came to study with me about 10 years ago, and he flew from Italy to New York. He came in here. We worked for 7 days, 8 hours a day, working on all these different techniques and ideas. And when he left here, he said to me, I am a completely different person now because you've opened my mind up. And then from that, we started a school together. His school is in a town in the southern part of Italy called Vibo Valencia. I go there very often and have classes with them and help his students and teach his teachers. It's very exciting. And there are many schools like this around the world that are wonderfully exciting.
Wow, congratulations. That sounds cool. I've been to Italy two times for touring, never for vacation. Most of the time musicians were touring, but we're never there for vacation. I should go for for enjoying times, in the city.
It's so important. When I go to all of these different countries, I try and take a moment to walk around and experience the culture. I want to experience what the people experience. When I was in Greece, there's a great school called the Art Music School. I've got wonderful drummers that I know there. Menios Pasilias is a fantastic drummer, and he is in Athens, Greece. Panos Vastiliopoulos, another great drummer. He's in Athens. George Kolias, another great drummer in Greece. These are great players. Yeah. When I go to Greece, I get to meet these phenomenal musicians, and I get to experience, but you have to take time off to go visit the culture, to go walk and visit the Acropolis. This is an incredible, inspired work of art that is still with us after thousands of years. These are the steps. When I walked up to the Acropolis, these were the steps that Aristotle and Plato and Socrates sat at to discuss the philosophy of the human mind. Steps. This is deep. That inspires me to want to not only be a better person, but to be a better musician and to push myself even further.
Oh yeah, for sure. I always say school of life. It's always good to see other things, going out of your comfort zone and see other things. Like it can be educational, architectural, like spiritual, just for growing up more as a person.
Absolutely.
And talking about that, do you still teach in person, or you? But now it can be different because of COVID. But in general, do you do person to person teaching, or it's mostly online right now?
Right now, it is 100% online.
Okay.
From my studio, I've got my studio set up with mics and video cameras, and I have been doing this for years. So
Yeah.
when everything changed, and already my students, I have over 3,000 students that travel from over 30 countries. So I was already teaching 80% of them already online.
Mm-hmm. So
Because
for
it
you,
made sense. I said, let's teach online. Online works just as well. You save the money in travel expense, hotels, all this. Let's focus on learning. So I've been teaching online. So when the pandemic had reached the world, the few students that were coming to me to study with me are now all online. So yes, I still do teach in person, and I love that one-on-one. I've got 2 drum sets behind me. This drum set is a student's drum set. This is my drum set. We're in here together, playing together, sharing ideas, and exchanging great ideas to, again, lift that student to a higher level.
Yeah, and it's communication, like you said before, was kind of an issue, but now with cameras are better. Like it's more sync. There's less lag. You can have you can teach from almost from everywhere. So that's a great point.
This is the 21st century. We are now entering the 3rd decade of the 21st century. We are there. When I was a young child and I saw the TV show Star Trek, they had devices on that show.
The flip phone.
We could never think that they would have that. Computers that you can talk to and ask for information. Now I go to my phone and I say, Siri, how far is the Earth to the moon? And it tells me the distance. This was only a dream that we watched on television back in the 1960s. Now it's here. It's totally here. So we have to now utilize this technology to advance not only lessons and concepts, but to advance the development of the human mind. That to me is so important.
Yeah, you just mentioned technology. Imagine when NASA have launched the first shuttle, like, I don't know, like 30 years ago in the 60s. The technology inboard was probably like the same technology of my watch. You know what I mean? Like, and not even close to your iPhone or whatever phone you are using. You know what I mean? So it's impressive.
The lunar module that was used in 1969 to fly from the spacecraft to land on the moon. That lunar module was designed here on Long Island at Grumman Aerospace.
Yeah. Grumman, yep.
The power in my iPhone now has more power than that lunar module had.
Oh, probably like.
So times have changed. We are living in a world now that has endless possibilities. The only thing that can limit us is our imagination.
Yeah, talking about imagination, how you get all those books out and where, because we know you have to think about all that. I mean, when you start to write a book, for example, where is your starting point and where you want to go? It takes time. I wrote a book, not many like you, but I have one, but I know how hard it is. And for you, many. Tell me about that.
I work on several projects at the same time.
Okay.
I have a desk and an office, and on my desk, I've got several different drum books that I'm working on. And when I'm inspired on one idea, I write the idea down. And then I get people involved to assist me to work on it. When I wrote the book called The Weaker Side, I contacted Stephen Chamberlain. I said, Stephen, I want to work on this book with you. So we had the idea. Stephen started working on the book. Thank you very much. We put this together. It was fantastic. So I work with people, and my creativity is still very active. So I'm working on 3 or 4 different drum books right now, and I'm working on 2 different motivational books to follow my first motivational book. So my first motivational book was this book here, The Cycle of Self-Empowerment.
I've seen that one. Yeah, actually, this one, I had that.
This book here came out 20 years ago.
Yep.
Now my next book will follow it, called Owning Now. And now I'm working on another book called The Business and Art of Art.
Okay. Yeah.
Business side and the artistic side. So I'm working on it. So I allow my mind, if I also think of something for that book, I write it down and I work on all these different projects at the same time. So I'm working on many projects. They all move a little slower.
Yep.
But they all move forward.
Oh, that's super. Well, yeah. When it's moved forward, is the at least if it's one step a day, it's better than going back forward. So it's just like it's just one step a day. It's perfect. It makes sense anyway. Time flies. We have like around 5 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes. I wanted to ask you. You played like for a long time. Like I know that question have been asked for you. I know you switched to open-handed. Okay. But my question, I want to go in like, for example, if you're a righty drummer, and I know because I switched my drum completely lefty, and I had an accident like a few years ago, and I have to switch live a show in front of 2,000 people on tour. I was doing like 300-400 shows a year, lefty. So I have to learn. I couldn't use my right foot. So how a drummer could see a big difference if he opened complete? I mean, hands, or how do you encourage drummers to try to play open and to maybe play completely other side for try different things? Because playing a right cymbal, if you play jazz, if you play a pattern ding 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 right, it's righty, it's easy. But when you go left, the swing will change. You know what I mean? You will have a different change. Are you encouraging people to try to go out of their comfort zone and open, or go in to try different aspect, or playing the pattern they know, but open or with lefty side, let's say like that? Sorry, I'm maybe not clear, but I want to make it.
It's very clear. I encourage every one of my students to challenge themselves. The word challenge is a very important word. Inside the word challenge, the first 3 letters and the last 3 letters of the word challenge equal the word change.
Mm-hmm.
In order to accept a challenge, you have to accept change. Comfort zone means you're in a comfortable zone. I encourage all of my students to break out of their comfort zone. I have them play open-handed because now they're playing their hi-hat with their weaker hand. Your strong hand is here, your weak hand is here. How much better would you play if you had 2 strong hands? 100% better. So if we can raise our weaker side, both our left hand and our left foot, for me, whatever your weaker side is, if you can raise that level higher, your level of expression can open up dramatically better.
It's true.
So
yeah.
We have to have a desire to challenge ourselves and push ourselves, but also to enjoy the journey of learning.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because on my side I remember I was doing Dennis Chambers linear patterns, and I know Dennis have tendency sometimes to play those funky groove on the left, like so I decided to go like that, but keep going instead to cross over, and I was keeping the groove instead to back, so that was my part. And for my left foot, I decided to go in the Latin part, so with the foot claves and ostinato. But everybody has their own ways. Just an example. But I know metal drummer now is not like just like dig, 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 dig. They have like Virgil kind of thing approaches, or with different pattern, double, stroke, triple, reversing like the bottom, but keeping the top. So there's so many ways now.
The world is at a different place, and I'm very fortunate to have drum companies that support me in what I'm doing. I've been with Sabian cymbals many years. I'm with Vader drumsticks, which are now making my new pad stick, which is fantastic. And I'm with Remo drumheads. These companies, and now new will be SE Electronic Microphones, a fantastic microphone company that I have in my studio here. And these companies build great product, but they support education.
Yep.
That's an important part to go into the journey of being able to help this next generation by not only making great product, but supporting great education. Absolutely.
Well, before we go, do you have thing you would like to talk about, like your website, where the people can reach your book, where they can get classes with you? It's your time for that. If you want to promote things, I'm more than happy.
Eric, I am everywhere. Dom famularo.com is my website. I'm on Facebook under my name. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all the different social media platforms that are out there. People can get a hold of me anyway. You can Google me. If anybody has any questions or wants to have any advice from me, contact me. I am more than willing to help everybody. That to me is the message I want to send out.
Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, and it was very cool. You accepted to be on the on DFK. It's a second season, so we are still a baby growing up in all that environment. But well, thank you for being part of it. And next time when the border will be reopened, I'm gonna go in Long Island, New York area. I will let you know.
Come on down. Come on to the studio. I'm excited. I want to wish you the best of luck for Drum Phil's Cafe. Eric, you've done a great job. You're a really good future of great drummers and
Thanks,
people
man.
that are pushing the music industry forward. Thank you so much for your time also.
So have a great day, and be safe. Be safe. Don't take chances with the COVID.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, man. Good luck.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, thank you for Dom Famularo to be on the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the Dom Famularo Instagram, Facebook, all the pages he mentioned. Same for Drum Phil Cafe. You can find all those pages on Facebook from Drum Phil Cafe. All the information we have are there. So just go check it out if you need more information. Thanks.